Hello and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 52. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and with me today is Rose Heck, our Stitch Along leader. Hi, Rose.
Hi, Janice.
Happy belated Canadian Thanksgiving to you.
You bet. Happy Canadian belated Thanksgiving. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good. We had kids all over on Sunday afternoon. It was gorgeous out, and we did not have turkey. I know that's like,
oh, what did you cook?
We actually had spaghetti and meatballs by per request of one of my daughters, and it was met with huge approval. That's what we did. My one son-in-law was a little taken aback that he didn't get his turkey. He was like, oh, poor baby. But yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we went camping for 5 days for Thanksgiving, and we had turkey and ham and pumpkin pies
Oh
and
my goodness,
stuffing and gravy and the whole 9 yards. So it was a really great potluck kind of a thing. There were 5 families there and everybody just contributed. So
oh, nice.
It was good. And we've had beautiful fall weather. It was 25 degrees Celsius the other day when we were camping. So we went on some hikes and yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. The weather has been gorgeous. It's a little cooler today, but the sun is out. I looked at the forecast and we're supposed to get rain this evening. And I'm a little scared about looking. I think next week we're supposed to start getting some snow.
Yes, but can you believe that we will have made it into the second or the final third of October, really, without snow yet?
I know.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And have you been stitching up a storm?
I stitched somewhat, yeah. It's been sporadic. It's been good. While we were out camping last week, I stitched, and this week just picking up the pieces, and over the weekend I haven't done much. So I'm trying to get myself back into it a bit again. So hubby has gone back up north.
Oh.
So yeah, I might get more stitching done. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I might come to your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I have gotten almost zero stitching done since our last video. So, but that's how it goes sometimes.
You have a big excuse with the sales and but it's a good excuse.
Yeah, definitely. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about an update on the sale. We're going to talk about the next month in our Ann Jonson Hands Across the Sea Sampler Stitch Along. Some things that are going on in the shop, and it's such a great time of year for new releases. We've got some great things posted. Have our hand-dyed linen parade, talk about new collector programs that we've got in the shop, and then talk a little bit about plans.
Sounds good.
All right, so our last video last month, I talked about our 24th anniversary sale. And so we did that in the end of September, and that was just, it was fantastic. We had tons of online orders, but we also had lots of people in the shop. Some people who I haven't seen, we counted in like 7 or 8 years for various reasons, and then COVID and stuff. And then the sale was the thing that brought them back out. So it was really, really awesome to see so many people come out. We're still finishing off with the billing and the shipping of the sale orders, but we've been in touch with everybody who placed one. And so we're just finishing up that. And then I'm already starting to think about what we're going to do for our sale for next year for our 25th anniversary.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah. So that sale is going to be a little bit later in the year. It'll be like this time next year after Canadian Thanksgiving. So just keep your ears open and we'll let you know more plans when they come together. But that's kind of the timing for next year. All right. How is your Ann Jonson?
Well, she's up to date and a teeny bit extra because month 9 is going to be a little more stitch intensive. And it should be fun. I know that's your favorite. So let me finagle this a bit. So there is month 9.
Oh, yeah.
with a bunch of the border done and a little bit extra. Now that I've pulled it out, I'm looking going, it doesn't look like a lot, but that's okay.
You're getting very close to the bottom.
Yeah.
That that is the bottom corner, essentially, I think. A
Uh,
little bit below that last strawberry where your finger is
yes,
going to be.
yes, this is the last
turning
full
point.
strawberry, and then you kind of come around, and there's a little mini strawberry.
Mm.
So I wanted to go around the corner, but and actually I should have, because I have a little bit, but leave it for the next time, or when I hit month 12.
Oh, wow.
So
That looks awesome.
I'm gonna have to stand. This is what she looks like.
Oh,
Yeah. So
great.
she's a long girl.
Yeah.
So month 8 complete, month 9. And what do we call them? The lollipop flowers? Is that what you've been calling them?
Well, I think that's what you've been calling them.
Okay.
Although when we were talking before we started recording the video, the flower that's just above the number 8, I think you called that a lollipop tree.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got sweets on your mind.
I
Hey?
guess I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to call those, but
I don't know
love them.
either. They are really nice. So that's going to be a little more intensive in there.
Yeah, it's pretty different stitching.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
like I said, I haven't really had any time for stitching,
yeah.
but I'm trying to finish across the row before I row my scrolls.
Yeah.
But you can see I still haven't finished my verse or
yeah.
my satin
Yeah.
stitch band. But the one thing that I did do was these kind of yellow bellflowers. It's not showing up great on there.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I wanted to point out in those flowers is that it has a couple cross stitches each that are off the usual grid of the fabric. So
Right.
the instruction says to stitch them as shown in the diagram, which just means that you're offsetting them by 1 thread to the right or the left.
Yeah.
And so just watch for that.
I've noticed not only in Ann Jonson, maybe more in other Facebook groups, that people get confused with the offset stitches, and it's, don't overthink it. Just like you said, just off 1 thread. That's it.
Yeah. And sometimes, like in these yellow flowers, it's definitely there for a purpose. It's part of it is to kind of center the flower and make it symmetrical and stuff.
Exactly.
But sometimes they don't seem to have a purpose, and that's just getting reproduced exactly how the schoolgirl had stitched it, and she may have been off by a thread, and so it's just being specific to the reproduction. So some people sometimes fix those and get them back on the grid, which is just fine, but you have to think about the context that they're in and what they add or don't add to the design to make that choice. But yeah, it's always an option.
Good to know that.
Yeah. So I am really excited. When I very first saw this sampler in person, which was about a year ago, when I was in England and at the Great British Sampler weekend and saw her in person, these flowers within the flower on these 3 pieces, just
that drew you in.
Yep, right off the bat. They were unique, different. I knew I'd really enjoy the stitching of them, so I'm happy that we're at that point now.
Yeah. We're there. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the rest of it is just straight cross stitch and tackleable.
Very much.
Anything else on Ann?
No, other than we have 4 months left. But that does not mean that if you're not up to that, the pressure's on. Do it at your own pace for anybody that's, should I say, behind? I hate to use that word.
Yeah.
So every stitch is a stitch closer to completion.
Right. And if you go back to the first couple of videos where we started, and I said several times that I was marching ahead and going to get it finished so it was on the wall and framed as a shop model before the stitch along was done. But obviously.
Well, you still have 4 months left, so you could just cruise through it and get it done by the end of the year.
I'm going to have to take some holidays.
Yeah.
Okay, so happening in the shop. Like I said, this is a fantastic time for new releases. I love this time of year. Lots of winter and fall themed, as well as Christmas coming out. And so I just wanted to highlight a few that have been released really recently. So they haven't arrived in the shop yet, but we are taking advanced orders and they are on order to arrive to us. The first one that's really fun is Just Nan's new Merlin limited edition ornament, the owl, and I'll insert a picture of him here. So he comes with all of the little bits that are needed to finish him as shown in the photo, except for a little bit of stuffing and maybe some pins. The one thing that's not included is the little orange pumpkin. But Nan tells us that that was just a prop that they've had around for a long time. So it's not something they made as part of the design, but you can find those online or just grab a piece of orange wool felt and figure out how big you want it to be and just tie it up together on your own. Yeah. And I'm sure there's lots of instructions online that you could find to do that because he looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I admit, it would have been nice if she had put in just instructions to make that size, but if it's a prop, how would she know? Pumpkins are easy to make. So
yeah, and so once you actually stitch up Merlin, then you'll know what scale you want your pumpkin to be and go ahead and create it that way. So those are on their way to us and they're limited edition and we didn't order a ton, so yeah. And you've done those Just Nan little ornaments before, so
yeah, and I don't have any up here. Yeah,
they work up pretty quick. Hey?
They do, and they're not hard to make. Don't get intimidated, but Nan puts really good instructions in, and yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. So
cool. The next one that I wanted to talk about is Plum Street had several new releases, including a couple new animal stackers. And we love everything that Paulette does, of course. But the one that I really like is the house sampler, the Real Comfort sampler. And here's a picture of it. And she taught this at Autumn of Abundance at the Attic last fall and then has now released it. So I've been eyeing it ever since then and happy to see it on the market and can't wait to get my hands on it. Then Brenda Gervais late last week also released 4 new designs, I think 4 or 5 for With Thy Needle and Thread, Christmassy ones specifically. And the one that I really like there is Peace and Goodwill. That's the Quaker Santa kind of rectangular one. Here's a picture of it. Right. And so did you get a chance to look at any of those?
I did. I saw them all, you know, probably 2 or 3 times in different formats, and my brain doesn't remember. So I have to. Oh yeah, yes, I remember now.
Yeah, so it's pretty subtle, softer Christmas colors, but just lovely, and it would be so much fun to stitch. So we're also seeing brand new releases right now from Summer House Stitchworks, Ink Circles, Hands On Design. Mill Hill has released some new kits that are on their way to us. So this is just a great time of year. And then to get ready for your winter stitching, for your winter hibernation, there's still plenty of time to do Christmas gifts and ornaments and stuff too. But the clock is ticking a little bit on those.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
You set such a good example. We should all follow.
Yeah, well, when you have 13, 14 to stitch, you have to start. So my grandkids, all save 3 of them, have picked next year's. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So some other things going on in the shop is that the Just CrossStitch ornament magazines for 2024 have arrived. and are going back out the door as fast as we can get them. We do have plenty of extras, so if you haven't ordered yours yet, you definitely can now, and we'll get it out to you. We have the Needlework Press Book of Days, the Needlework Enthusiast Book of Days for 2025. I talked to Vicki last week, and she said that they were in the final proofing stage.
Okay.
So they still have to be printed and then shipped to us. So that'll be a couple of weeks, and then we're going to be set up so that as soon as they land at the door of the shop, we're mailing them straight back out. So everybody will have them in plenty of time to get them decorated up to start 2025 off on the right foot.
Good.
Yeah, so we are definitely recommending advance orders for those so that we can get the orders into the queue to go back out as fast as we can. And then something that you brought up that we should talk about is the books from Whitney Antiques.
Right.
Yeah, so I sure wish I was going to Whitney Antiques this weekend for their gallery and display, but they've released a new catalog that is kind of on its way to us. It's volume 2 of the Choice and Precious work from last year that was so incredible popular, and it's going to be, it is a hardcover, and I think it's got 226 pages or something of amazing Whitney Antiques catalog details. And we're not 100% on the price yet because we don't know what the freight cost is going to be to bring it over from the UK. But we're kind of estimating in around the $200 Canadian mark. So also taking advance orders for those so that they can go back out as soon as they arrive. And you had a couple of Whitney books in your collection that you picked up recently that you wanted to share.
Well, I got the one last year first, and this is part 1, and it's soft cover and 144 pages, and it is just chock-a-block full.
So that's not the first volume. The first volume would be the hardcover one.
Okay.
So maybe not. They do a
this was the first volume
for every exhibit.
Okay.
And I wish I had that here. Anyways, but you have a couple other.
Yeah. The other one, well, I have that one, and then I have this one, which is 2018.
Yeah.
And it's a good one also. So
just flip through a couple of pages to show like the quality of the photos. And then Rebecca does such a great job of writing her research and sharing. She's so good at sharing.
Yeah, there's a lot of research in these books. So
when we were in England this time last year, Lisa and I went to Whitney Antiques on a quiet day there.
Nice.
And it was a highlight of the trip. We spent a few hours there with Rebecca, and yeah, if you get a chance, go do it.
Yeah. That would be a destination for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Alrighty, so the next thing on my list is our hand-dyed fabric parade. So I'm just going to jump right into it. They're all right here. So the first thing I have to show is a new color from Tabby Cat Linen called Through the Looking Glass. So we got it in 36, 40, and 46 count linens, and these are the 36 and the 40. So they're a really light pale tan gray, I guess, maybe. So yeah, Through the Looking Glass, and not terribly mottled, but just a really nice neutral kind of color. And so those just came in.
Okay.
And then we got a shipment from Seraphim. And so I'll just show off some of the more popular colors that we got. Let's situate myself right here. So this is 36 antique lace.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't spend more time with these. 36 Dusty Road.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I just want to stitch on all of them.
Yeah.
This is the 40 count version of the antique lace. This is 40 count Prairie Grass. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit greener, but it just beautifully.
That is nice.
Yeah, it sure is. And then this is the 40 count version of the Dusty Road.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love, love, love.
Yeah.
And then this is 40 count Old Stationery. So it's a little bit browner, I'd say, than the other ones.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I kind of like them all.
yeah, it would be hard to choose, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. when I
That's
get
where you
done-
need to do a floss toss then. Or
Yeah.
just buy them all.
Okay, I like the way that you think. So speaking of buying them, so there is a link in the description box below directly to our hand-dyed linen parade for this FlossTube video. And all of the fabrics that I'm showing off here are in that link. And they are fabrics that we have a good amount of stock in right now for order fulfillment. So if you were looking to get started on a project, that's a really good place to start. And then we would have them out in the next week or so. The hand-dyed linen supply is getting better, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So that's good. But it's still, from these hand dyers, if it's out of stock, it's still 3 to 4 months wait to get a shipment. But that's way better time frame than it was. So
True.
yeah, I'm just going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Right. And then we finally got a shipment from Fox and Rabbit. So this we placed in January, just like kind of just before Nashville, and they've been so slammed and had a hard time with their supply of base that they weren't able to get it to us until into the end of September. So it was a real big order, and there's not a lot left, but we've been talking to them, and we've figured out a system that we think is going to work to get more fabric more frequently into our shop. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm looking forward to seeing that work out.
Cool.
But in the meantime, I grabbed some fabrics that we have quite a good supply of to show you. And so this is 32 count Dust Bunny. So it's nice neutral with a little bit of gray.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this is 36 Inca, and this was a color that they released at the Nashville market this year.
Right, right.
So a bit sploochy.
Yeah, yeah. It has potential though. It has some, I can see some things on that could
Yeah,
go
for
on that.
sure. Yeah, it's not over the top sploochy, and it still reads kind of nice and neutrally. So
Right.
that's Inca. This is the 36 Prehistoric.
Okay.
So this is the fabric that the Cottage Garden Fabulous House series has been stitched on this year. So it's been pretty hard to find, but we actually have good stock in 36 and 40 count right now. This is 36 Dirt Track. 36 Dust Bunny. No, my dust bunnies don't look like this, do yours?
No.
This is 36 count Up in the Attic. So a little bit darker. And then 40 count Dirt Track. This just says to me, you need to do something spooky, Halloweeny, black thread would be really awesome.
Yeah. Black sampler November. Black, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Could do something on that.
Yep. This is the 40 count version of the Prehistoric. Such a pretty color. And that Fabulous House series, it just looks so great on it.
Right.
This is a really nice one. This is 40 count Saltbush.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit dusty green gray.
Okay.
But just a great color. 46 count Inca. And 46 count Paperbark. So it's a little bit pale yellow of a color.
Okay.
So those are the fabrics for this month's parade. So the other thing, what I wanted to say about the hand-dyed linen supply is I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with it and with the reliability of it these days. So we have opened up some new linen collector programs in the shop just in the last little bit. So our collector programs are kind of the month programs, clubs, where there's a monthly shipment of whatever it is that you choose. And they're really popular. And since we released these new ones last week, they've been super popular. So we created collector programs for Seraphim, Fiber on a Whim, and Fox and Rabbit in counts that we're comfortable with the supply of. And so you can find those in the new product section of our website, which is linked below. So our collector programs, they're something that we're known for, I think. And so every month you join like the Fox and Rabbit 36 count linen collector program, and every month we send you a different piece of 36 count Fox and Rabbit linen in a cut of your choice, a wide eighth, a wide quarter, or a wide half, and it's discounted to kind of incentivize and offset the shipping cost. And then many people do more than one collector program, so they'll do a linen collector program and then a soie d'Alger collector program or a Weeks Dye Works thread collector program. And so we send those all in one package each month to help save on postage. And then something else that we do is if our regular customers place another order, we'll hold on to that order, combine it, and send it with their monthly program to help save them on postage. So people generally really appreciate that. We also offer collector programs for Designers Automatic Series. So like that fabulous house from Cottage Garden that we've been talking about. The other one that currently is super popular is the Little House Needleworks series that's going on, the log cabin. And so that's always an option too.
Exactly.
And then, so the packages are sent at the same time every month. So if we start your program, say today, which is the 16th, then we'll be shipping on or about the 16th of every month going forward. So then if you just let us know about 5 days in advance, if there's any additions, then we can combine those for sure. And then we keep track of what we send so that there's no duplicates. So they're lots of fun.
Yeah.
The R&R linens and the Lakeside linens collector programs are still on hold because we just can't get enough stock of those to fill our regular orders, let alone to be offering the collector program. So I look forward to a day when we can open that up again, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So collector programs. And if you have any questions about that, just call or email the shop and we'll be happy to clarify anything for you. And so, Rose, what have you got planned in the next month?
Well, of course, working on Anne and working on any other things. I have to reluctantly put away my pub crawl.
But you have it out? Have you been making progress?
I have. I wish I had made more progress than I did. I think somebody wise said to me a couple of years ago, I didn't think I made any progress, but I looked at the last month and I realized I did. So, so I'll show you before it comes off what I've done. So I worked in this corner over here and, you know, I had to put in some of the background. You know, you just can't leave the background unless you have, you know, fabric that mimics the background, then, you know, you can forge right ahead with all of the fun motifs. But I have to put on my big girl panties and once in a while do the background of that. But yeah, I'll put that away.
I didn't mind doing the background. I just strategized about leaving it for movie watching night or something like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. It's you can kind of watch a little more intently on a movie or, you know, a show without, you know, getting distracted and having to count. So yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not big on like doing this huge quantity of, you know, grass or whatever that you're going back and forth, but these are small little pieces in between the motifs. So I can handle that. So,
it is going to look stunning.
Yeah.
I really think that filling in the background really adds to the tapestry impact feel of the design.
That's-
But I certainly understand lots of people who don't want to do it.
And that's it, yeah.
In fact, it was only a couple of weeks ago where I was talking to Pat at Lakeside Linens about this specific design, and she's stitching hers on her linen color called Green Slate. So I don't have any in stock. You can
Oh.
order it, but I don't have any in stock. But if that's what she's chosen for her background color,
Okay.
so
Okay.
she knows things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have in my some of my antique samplers, and it is an antique because it was a chair seat from the turn of last century, and somebody actually framed it, and it is completely covered. It's not as fine as this or detailed, but I look at it and I think, yeah, that was a thing that they did, is the tapestry filled the whole thing for utilitarian uses, whether it was chair covers, whether it was pillows, whether it was wall hangings.
Yeah.
So that's what I chose.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying stitching it.
Yeah, very much so.
But now you have to put it away till it's time in the rotation again.
Yeah, and I really should pull out some other things to rotate instead of just the two. So yeah, I
That's
know
how progress is made. So
exactly. I tend to like monogamous, but sometimes I have to maybe do something else. So
excellent. Well, my big project for this weekend is going to be to finish up the garden and the yard before the snow comes, which might be next week.
Yeah.
And I live in eternal hope of stitching time.
Yeah.
I'm headed to Arizona in November to, we're going to do some touring around the Tucson area. So if anybody has any must-dos, we kind of like hiking outdoorsy kind of things as opposed to museum-y kind of things. I'd be interested in suggestions. And then we will end up at the attic in Mesa to attend Jean's Autumn of Abundance seminar and help her out in the shop for a few days. Cut some fabric and hang out with my shop owner pals and catch up with everybody there.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's going to be much less hot than it was when I was there in June. So
yeah, and then you can get outside and do some hiking. You're not, it'll be the temperature that we've had this fall, probably. So
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we are going to film our next video, I think, on November 14th, right after I get back from Arizona. So we can talk about how that all went.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks for the visit.
Thank you.
All righty. We'll talk to you soon, Rose.
Sounds good, Janice. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.